So you said rule number one and rule number three were probably the most important. Rule number three is now make it easy.
Yeah. So if I could only recommend like one thing, if you forced me to say, hey, where's the one place I would start? I would say start with this. Start with
Do you
making
hate
it
being
easy.
asked that question, by the way? If you could just do one
Yeah,
thing.
just because I mean, yeah, like you know how it is. Like if somebody said, "What was the one thing I would do to get healthy?" You'd be like, "Okay, come on, this is like a very big picture. There's a lot of stuff here."
Yeah.
Um, and same story here. Like I do think this is a good place to start though. And so if I had to pick, I would say follow the 2 minute rule, which says take whatever habit you're trying to build and scale it down to something that takes 2 minutes or less to do. So read 30 books a year becomes read one page, or do yoga 4 days a week becomes take out my yoga mat. And sometimes people hate that because they're like, okay, buddy, like I know I'm not actually just trying to take my yoga mat out. I know I'm actually trying to do the workout. So if this is some kind of mental trick and I know it's a trick, then like, why would I fall for it, basically? And I get where people are coming from, but I have this reader, his name's Mitch, and I mentioned him in Atomic Habits, and he lost a ton of weight. Another guy, I think he lost definitely over 80 pounds. I think it was probably over 100, and kept it off for a long time. He had this interesting rule for himself though, where when he went to the gym for the first 6 weeks that he started working out, he wasn't allowed to stay for longer than 5 minutes. So he'd get in the car, drive to the gym, get out, do half an exercise, get back in the car, drive home. And it sounds ridiculous, it sounds silly. You're like, obviously this is not going to get the guy the results that he wants. But if you take a step back, what you realize is that he was mastering the art of showing up. He was becoming the type of person that went to the gym 4 days a week, even if it was only for 5 minutes. And I think this is like a deep truth about habits, something that we often overlook, which is a habit must be established before it can be improved. It has to become the standard in your life before you can optimize and scale it up into something more. If you want, you can come up with a better theory, like you could come up with a perfect plan, but unless you're acting on it, it doesn't do you any good. It's just a really good idea. And so, for whatever reason, we get like really all or nothing about our habits. We tend to have this tendency to be like, well, if I can't do, the full marathon training program, then why go for a run at all? Or if I can't, follow through on the perfect like lean startup business framework, then like why bother starting a company? But I think, the 2 minute rule kind of helps you get over that tendency of perfectionism and just start to master the art of showing up, find a small way to establish the habit, make it part of your new normal, and then you can gain a little foothold and start to scale up and expand from there.